Hey, what's up guys? Nightwing, Way of Life Esports, coming at you guys with another League of Legends video. Majority of LCS Players Association reportedly voted to cancel 2020 Spring Split. Out of 90 pros, just under 2/3 of the group reportedly voted for the season to be canceled. Now, I'm going to be going over this topic basically with a lot more other people on my League of Legends podcast that I do obviously on Tuesday, where we recorded on Tuesday, then it obviously comes out on Wednesday, because that's just something that gives me time to edit the video and put it up together and give it a time to obviously come out. And this is going to be something that I'm really interested to see different people's opinions on. I think that this is not as broad as a lot of people are making it out to be. I think it's also not as simple as just saying, oh, NA players are lazy, so that's why they want to cancel, or it's just CLG and TSM, not CLG and TSM, freaking CLG and TL, and they're just basically saying, they're not going to make it anyway, so why not just cancel it? I don't think it's as simple as that. So let's see what was actually going on, because I'm really kind of still in the dark about this. I know Travis talked about it in the video. I know they did like a Hotline League portion of this, and let's see what this is actually talking about. Last week, most of League of Legends fans didn't know the fate of the 2020 LCS Spring Split after it was suspended due to rising coronavirus concerns. Despite the LCS making its return in an online format this past weekend, a large majority of LCS Players Association voted for the rest of the season to be cancelled, according to League of Legends reporter Travis Gafford. Riot reportedly reached out to the Players Association to get the players' thoughts about what should be done with the rest of the competitive season, according to Gafford. At the time, Riot was considering both opinions of either canceling the entire split or moving to a remote solution. In response, the LCSPA put together a poll for its members to vote on and share their opinion. I know that over 90 pros replied to the question, would you prefer if the Spring Split be canceled or go fully remote? And again, just under 2/3 said that they would prefer it to be canceled, Gafford said in a recent video. After that, the Players Association emailed all players and said, hey, we're going to be providing the results of this poll to Riot to take into consideration. When it came down to why the players wanted to cancel the split, it became a bit more difficult to explain. Multiple players reportedly felt like the spring split didn't matter as much. Another group of players was concerned about their safety. There was also a group of international players who just wanted to go back home to their country. So that's also interesting to go over as well. Like Gafford said, there should be a discussion about the global situation with the coronavirus pandemic and how it will affect the mentality of the players. Many countries have started to close their borders, and other governments have been calling back their own citizens. It would make perfect sense for some players, especially for those without much on the line, to want to return home and be with their families. It's easy for fans to criticize the players for things like lack of competitive drive, but a good amount of players may have different legitimate reasons that might not be visible on the surface. That doesn't make the reasons for wanting the spring split to continue any less valid, but there has to be a greater level of understanding at hand. The coronavirus has shifted many things in the esports scene, from events and player mentality to their ability to perform and how comfortable they are playing in lockdown while this pandemic is running rampant across the world. But some decisions need to be made to make sure League of Legends esports scene stays strong in the face of this adversity. The LCS will continue with online play Saturday, March 28th. Okay, so a vast majority of people thought that, once that video came out and once this article came out, most people, if not a good, let's say 95% of people, I know it's probably a really broad number, let's be generous here, 80% of people from the League of Legends community, not them, I'm talking about us as watchers, a good amount of people thought that they wanted the spring split canceled because they're lazy, they don't want to put in the work, that, you know, they use the term like, you know, spring split doesn't matter anyway. And then this is a problem to break down in several different ways. So, not to really go over every single little detail in depth, but I'm going to try to, obviously. So, let's start with the whole spring split doesn't matter thing. You guys know how I feel about it. I think spring matters to players who haven't won anything. And it also matters to players who have not won a title and or trophy, because what are you really doing? You know, this is all about legacy. This is all about, you know, cementing yourself in winning a title, and winning a title is all that matters. And, you know, in terms of winning a title, that's going to bridge my next topic to Cloud9, because Cloud9, as you know, they're one of my favorite League of Legends teams and one of my favorite esports teams in general, along with G2, and it would be really unfair to them to have the spring split canceled after they put in all that work to be 15-1. I mean, that's not just some fanboy perspective you're getting out of me. That's just being honest, you know what I mean? Like, just imagine, you put all that work in, and then all of a sudden, there's a good amount of people that want spring split to be canceled. Now, Cloud9, in Travis's live chat last night at Hotline League, they said they voted for the spring split to be continued. That's obviously something that is not surprising, because you know, they're obviously super dominant right now, and, you know, it's would really suck, you know, if the spring split got canceled and their run of dominance is just over. You know what I mean? Because people can just use the argument, oh, well, why don't they just do the same thing next split if they're that good? That's not how all this works, you know. Some splits are just not as good as other ones, and this could be the legitimate split where they win a title, and they haven't won a title in, you know, 6 years. So you got to look at it from their perspective as well. Then you have to look at it from the team's perspective as well. Now, to be fair to a lot of these players that are the foreign players that want to go back home, this is gonna be a decent issue in itself. It's not as easy as just going back home. Do you want to know why? Most states are closing their borders, so the spread of the virus doesn't continue. So, to be fair, they weren't going to be going home anyway, you know? And this is the issue. As they knew this issue was getting a whole lot bigger and bigger, this is the reason why you have subs. You have the sub step in. And to play devil's advocate, if spring doesn't matter, why did you stay then? You know what I mean? Like, let's just dial it back so people can understand what I'm saying. Okay, so as they knew, the situation was getting a lot more broader, and I don't know how they didn't. It was very, very abundant in a lot of news videos, in a lot of articles. On Twitch, people were talking about it. Just everywhere you went, the coronavirus was talked about. So there is no excuse to not know how serious it was actually getting. That is not an excuse. I am not going to accept that. Okay? Honest. Not going to accept that excuse. How do you not know a global pandemic is literally not coming to North America? Like, come on. That's your own fault if you know that. If you do not, obviously, apply real world things to your everyday you know, sort of situation, because that's just you being oblivious, and I'm not accepting it as an excuse. So if they knew this was coming over for a good amount of time, a lot of people knew it was kind of like the LCS was, like, you know, riding dirty. The same thing with the LEC. I considered having those audiences playing, and, you know, in the stage play for as long as we did have it, basically just like driving without a license. You know what I mean? The LCS and LEC were basically, you know, riding dirty. It's just how it is, you know? I mean, I still enjoyed it for the time being, but at a certain point, we knew it was all going to be canceled because, you know, it's just a global pandemic. It's, you know, people are literally dying and getting sick from this. It's not, you know, a easy thing to really deal with. So if these guys, you know, had aspirations to go back in midst of this because of their family and wanted to be with their family, should have already left. You know what I mean? That's why they're subs. And then that's the other issue is maybe they didn't want to leave, and the team obviously hate them for leaving and having to play with the sub and build synergy. If Spring Split doesn't matter, then why do you care then? Like, let's use their argument against themselves. If Spring Split doesn't matter, what does it matter if a player literally goes back to their home country and you have to play with a sub? Oh wait, it does matter, because if it didn't matter, you wouldn't care so much. Hence my point there. Okay, so you also have to factor in that a lot of these guys might not see their families until around, well, they said the earliest this could be over is around July, right? Because China is somewhat getting back to normal. They've had it since November, December, January, February, March. So 5 months, right? We just got this around what? February-ish. So February, March, April, May, June. So around June is when this should start getting better. So this is an issue in itself. Is, most of these guys, to be honest, don't really see their families up until like Christmas time anyway. Let's be honest here, most of these guys don't really see their families up until either their summer splits are over, and or they don't go to Worlds, so they go back home anyway. So, but this time is different, right? And we should factor in, most countries are placing limits on traveling, so you wouldn't have got a chance to go anyway. Let's just being honest, There's also the other thing of, basically, since they're able to play online, people didn't factor in that, are they going to be next to each other while playing? No, this is an issue. What I've heard in a lot of interviews is that the players aren't even next to each other. They're playing from their apartments. So that also is going to be harder for coaches. For coaches, they are not able to really sufficiently talk to the team all together. You guys know those little huddles teams do before matches. They're not able to have those to, instill confidence. They might be able to play better from home, but that's just something that you're never really going to understand in general. See you guys later. Oh, okay. Wait, what the heck? Oh, it's just a loud engine going on. But in general, you have to know that a good amount of players, really are going to be affected by this. And a lot of people around the world have been affected by this in general. This is not basically a easy thing to deal with. It's literally, no one knows how to deal with this. That's just how it's going to be. But I just want to say it's not as broad as everybody's making it out to be. Oh, LCS players are lazy, and, that's why NA will never do well at Worlds. I mean, what do you want? Like, what do you want? If NA's not going to make it far at Worlds anyways, then why does it matter? If Spring Split doesn't matter, why are you watching? Like, come on. Like let's stop with all this kiddie bullshit people keep throwing around. If it doesn't matter, why are you watching? If it doesn't matter, then why are you on the stage? Then what does matter to you in general? You must ask yourself that question. What does matter to you? Wait. What does matter? Yeah, that's what it's... and what matters to you then? If nothing matters to you, then what matters then? Because people wouldn't be putting in all this money for every single Spring Split, changing up the roster, changing up the infrastructure, if it didn't matter. And, to be fair, if you're not like TSM, Cloud9, FlyQuest in this current moment in time, who are pretty much locked for playoffs, then I guess Spring Split doesn't matter. I guess Spring Split wouldn't matter if you're Golden Guardians or 100 Thieves or, someone like CLG. I mean, or Dignitas, who's been failing literally. To be fair, with a lot of these teams, some of these guys were failing before the coronavirus hit anyway. Like, come on, guys. Dignitas, they were already fucking trash right before this hit anyway. Like, literally, they switched out Grig the Katie, and they were already trash. They were already not going to make playoffs. The coronavirus did absolutely nothing to that. Golden Guardians had a decent little surge here and there. Teams were already started to basically suck before the virus came anyway. Don't be using that virus shit as an excuse. You were already sucking. That shit wasn't going to change. People are going to, Evil Geniuses change. Caliber of players depends on how well you change, too. That's just how I think about it. But yeah, that's it. See you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing, and Wave Life Esports is signing out tonight on the podcast when we are going to be recording it. A lot of the other guys are going to be giving their thoughts and opinions on this. I've basically given a good amount of mine. I haven't really thought of anything else right now that comes to mind. So that's it. Peace out. Have a good day. Goodbye.
Hi there, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.